The Chargers have money to spend and urgently need to strengthen their roster to support Justin Herbert. And believe it or not, a veteran with pedigree might be on the team's radar. While T. Higgins remains a strong target, a surprising name has entered the conversation, and he could be a more affordable solution for the offense. But would this gamble be enough to transform the team? Plus, we have a bombshell update on Khalil Mack. The veteran linebacker has made a major decision about his future, but the Chargers still have a big challenge ahead. Don't miss a single detail of these breaking stories. Hit the like button and let's get into the video. The Chargers desperately need reinforcements to help Justin Herbert, and the good news is they have the money to make it happen. While the team has been heavily linked to T. Higgins from the Cincinnati Bengals, they might explore cheaper options, and one of them could be DeAndre Hopkins. Mason Cameron of Pro Football Focus named Hopkins as the best option for the Chargers this offseason. He pointed out that Jim Harbaugh's arrival, combined with Herbert's ability to elevate veteran receivers, could make Los Angeles an ideal destination for the Chiefs' wide receiver. And let's be honest, playing with a quarterback like Herbert doesn't sound like a bad idea for a veteran like Hopkins. Now, let's be realistic. Hopkins is no longer the all-pro monster he was in Houston, but he still has plenty left in the tank. In 2024, he split time between the Titans and the Chiefs, finishing the season with 56 receptions, 610 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Respectable numbers for a guy in his 30s. The big question is whether at 32, he can still be a reliable receiver for a team that urgently needs offensive weapons. If Hopkins were to come in as a complementary piece, especially alongside a big-name target like Higgins, it would make a lot of sense. But if the Chargers put all their chips on him and fail to bring in another impact player, the fan base might not be too thrilled. Either way, with Harbaugh in charge and Herbert under center, Los Angeles seems like a great spot for any receiver who still has something to prove. What do you think? Would DeAndre Hopkins be a good addition, or should the Chargers aim for a younger, more explosive player? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Now, speaking of veterans, Khalil Mack's situation is shaping up to be a major headache for the Chargers front office. The Chargers got some big news with Khalil Mack's return for 2025, shutting down any retirement talks. But now comes the hard part, ensuring he stays in Los Angeles. The veteran linebacker is entering free agency, and the Chargers know they need to act fast to keep him, as multiple teams are interested. According to Jeremy Fowler of ESPN, the team views Mack as a top priority this offseason. He's seen as the heart of the franchise's resilience, and the player himself has made it clear that he believes in the team's potential. Back in January, Mack explained why he remains optimistic about LA. With Justin Herbert leading the way, Derwin James anchoring the defense, and now Jim Harbaugh as head coach, you always have a shot at winning. The problem is, the Chargers aren't the only ones in this race. Fowler mentioned the Falcons and Panthers as two of the strongest contenders, but the competition doesn't stop there. Teams like the 49ers, Lions, and Buccaneers could also enter the mix. The big decision for Mack, now 34, is whether to chase one last big contract or prioritize a Super Bowl ring. On top of that, the Chargers have other roster gaps to fill. After a season where they made cuts to balance their finances, they need to invest in cornerbacks, running backs, the defensive line, and even wide receivers. That means any deal with Mack will have to fit within the team's budget. Even with a slight decline in production in 2024, Mack remains one of the league's most dominant linebackers. Last season, he recorded 39 tackles, 6 sacks, 9 passes defended, and 2 forced fumbles. And despite the wildcard loss to the Texans, his 2-sack performance proved he can still be a game changer. Now, the Chargers have to decide how far they're willing to go to keep their defensive star. A bidding war is about to begin. If the Chargers truly want to compete, they need to act wisely. Hopkins could be valuable, but he alone won't fix the offense. And as for Khalil Mack, letting him walk would be a huge mistake. A team aiming to win can't afford to lose its biggest defensive star. But is the franchise willing to spend to keep its key pieces? We'll be keeping a close eye on this. If you want to stay updated on everything Chargers, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications.